And hello. Welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast, the absolutely Premier League show. We are back after a couple of weeks away. I hope you're having a wonderful summer. I hope you're enjoying yourselves, having a great time. And congratulations to the Lionesses for that epic, amazing win at the weekend. Penalty shootout over Spain, retained the Euros. Apparently, it's not the way to play football, but it is because we won. So who cares? Congratulations to the Lionesses, and a massive congratulations and thank you to Freya and Paul from our women's football team, who managed to, I think, collaborate 19 watch-alongs during the European Championships, which totaled over 40 hours. They did an amazing job. And they're not done either, because tomorrow they're going to review it all as well. That won't be 40 hours, I don't think. But best of luck to them as well. But we've got transfers to talk, so I've had to amalgamate. What a team. What a back four we have here tonight. We're back again, returning with, and very excited, little spoiler warning, Rebecca's Scottish reports are back later on. Rebecca's back with us. How are you? How's your summer going, Rebecca? Seems like ages since I've seen you.
Yeah, it's going really well. Thank you. Been a bit hectic. Went to Silverstone, had a trip to Dundee as well.
No.
Very
the motherland.
Yeah, it's been good. Excited to get the season started back up. Well, for me, this weekend with Scottish and lower league as well, with the FL back. But yeah, excited to be back on. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Very excited to be chatting football with you guys as well. I know pre-season's going on, everything that's going on. We've got Newport leading Barnet in the chat. Wow, look at that. That's a video printer to get us right off the bat from Sean in there. And of course, the man, the Batman down there in the bottom right, the one and only Cape Crusader. It's Mr. Grimmy. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've survived my recent Mario Kart session with my wife because she nearly killed me because I knocked her off the course a few times with various red shells, and she wasn't impressed. So nearly became a divorcee this afternoon, apparently. But apart from that, all good. Yeah.
All good. That's a high rate of divorces, I think, are caused by Mario Kart. I'm sure I read that somewhere. That seems like a statistic. Seems like a statistic. And a man that's so much more than a statistic. The king of the clarets, Mr. Dan. Dan the man is here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm pretty good. Yeah, not much to shout about, but life's sweet.
Life is sweet. There's plenty to shout about. You know, I'm sure we can have plenty of shouting.
I'm just looking forward to the season coming back. Like I say, being able to go to friendlies now, get that rhythm back. Like I say, it was just everything that, I put out online. It's that clinking of the turnstiles, that first pant, like an angel's peed on your tongue when you drink that in the middle of it. It's just honestly, it was amazing. And yeah, I was only in Huddersfield.
only in Huddersfield. I mean, we usually say an angel gets its wings when someone subscribes, but when an angel pees in your beer, then
an angel needs to take a leak as well. They're only human.
They need a moment. So yes, absolutely. We've got plenty to talk about. We've got a fantastic chat with us tonight as well. Graham, good evening to Graham. Graham also made all the watch-alongs as well. So fair play, Graham, joining all the women's watch-alongs too. We've got Leah's with us as well. You see, last night we had the non-league North and South, the first of our season reviews. Lee was on it, absolutely smashing it last night. Danny talks Leeds. Guessing Leeds fan Danny is with us today, ready to talk Premier League. Glenn's here, evening all as well. Straight off of a question for Dan. Dan's got an early question as well. Ooh. Where do you think Brownhill's off to?
I don't know. It's interesting. He's obviously gone on a free transfer now. Been linked with Leicester and stuff like that, which would make sense. He's towards the back end of his career. He's late 20s, early 30s. Yeah, he had a good season in the Champ, but when we're in the Premier League, it's a different ball game. So maybe he wants to stick around that level, or maybe he wants to just have that new venture. He's been with Burnley for over 5 years, so fair play to him. We can't begrudge him, his future. It's him that he's got to think about. So yeah, where do I think he's off to?
Butlins.
Yeah, at the moment he's been living it up in America, doing like training and things for himself and a little training camp. So whether he goes out there or chases the money of Saudi depends. Who knows?
Who knows? The world is his oyster. Sean says second best claret behind Northampton. Some early here in the chat. who would have thunk it?
Different tint of claret, different tint.
Different tint. It's like a wine. It's all a different grape,
When you look at the actual Burnley shirt, though, Sam, it actually says the colour of the shirt is purple portion and tropical breeze.
Oh, I've always loved the tropical breeze colour.
I just don't think it's got the same ring to it when you shout Scott Parker's purple portion and tropical breeze army. It just doesn't work.
I disagree. I think it's fantastic.
I like it, but there's a lot of fans that are whinging. So
it's a classic. Parker's purple portion. There we go. Be careful not to order that at the buffet. Paul's here as well. He says this will be far more entertaining than the first half. He's just enjoyed. Charlton at Ipswich. Sorry, playing Ipswich at Colchester. Okay, it's Ipswich Colchester, not Ipswich Charlton. I think that sounds of it. Jen is here. Hello to Jen as well. Hope you're doing okay. We're all sticking with Jen. It's horrendous at Morecambe at the minute, so we're all with Jen with that horrendous nonsense going on there. It's all going to hope out for the best, but it's heartbreaking at the moment. We've also got as well Nick is here. Good evening, a Forest fan. Dreety, the wonderful Dreety is here. Hope she's well as well. Love to see you, Dreety. We'll not see you, but hear you. We'll see you hopefully on Thursday. That's Char gets the jaw. Of course, we've got the wonderful Kate, the better half of the clarets, as we like to say. On the pod. So there we are. We've done the introductions. We better start talking transfers. There's been so many since we last all got together. So much going on. Shall we start with the one that seems to be rumbling on for a bit of the summer? Mr. Alexander Isak, Mr. Striker extraordinaire from last season, suddenly decided, I don't want to stay at Newcastle anymore. And very close, it seems, to Liverpool interest. They're saying no bid's been made. It's back and forth. Grimmy, should we start with you on the whole Isak kind of thing? Is it going to happen? Newcastle holding out? Is there a fee? Is there a deal to be done?
I think so now that Diaz is going to Bayern for like 70 odd million. I think without that, it'd probably be a bit trickier. But I feel like with that boost of that transfer happening and the extra money that obviously that's going to bring, it just feels like Liverpool have got all the cards, don't they, really? I'd be surprised if he's not with them the way it's gone, because I think when we were last on, I think Howell was saying basically he'll be a Newcastle player, but then like a few days later after we were last on together, he wasn't going on the tour and he's not in the friendly squad and this, that, and the other. So, yeah, I would be very surprised if he's not a Liverpool player in the next few weeks.
It is looking likely, isn't it? As you said, that Diaz deal does make it seem like it's moving some pieces around to make that happen. Of course, like a TK's there as well. Rebecca to Newcastle, no Alexander Isak, no Callum Wilson, no strikers at the moment. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's available on a free. Where else could they potentially go for a striker if Isak's on the move? I mean, huge blow for Newcastle if he does go.
Yeah, it'd be massive. We've all seen what he can do with Newcastle, but it's just annoying where he's going. I think that we will cover them a bit later on in the show, all through gritted teeth at this point, but it's one of them. It's like, it is going to be a tough one for Newcastle to even try and replace him at this point. If they do end up with Calvert-Lewin, good luck to them, because you might get 1 or 2 matches before something goes wrong with an injury. But then also in saying that, he's been linked back to Everton. So God knows where Calvert-Lewin is actually going.
That would be the transfer of the summer. Calvert-Lewin back to Everton, having left Everton at the start of the summer. Could you dress that up as a big new summer signing, do you think?
I don't know, because his number's gone. we've given it to Beto, so God knows what would actually happen.
That would be. I wouldn't put it past it. It's a possibility.
It's the most Everton thing I've ever heard.
If you see the headlines for better or for worse,
Oh,
and it's just there, the shirt number. Oh,
stuck as a toffee forever, Calvert Lewin. There you go. We love a good pun. Shah's here in the chat as well, saying, "What are you doing here, Dan? It's not a Thursday." But no, she's wishing everybody.
Just mate, I don't know what day it is.
He's ours now. He's ours.
Exactly. We've all. Who knows what league it is with the watch-alongs going on? No one knows what any day's been going on at the moment. It's just we are where we are. We are where we are. So Dan, Isak off to looking like. Well, not off to. I mean, we're jumping ahead of conclusions, but what do Newcastle do here? Because I think they're kind of stuffed in this position. The fans aren't going to take well to Isak going because they want to move forward. They've obviously they're struggling a bit in terms of FFP to be able to make signings so far. It seems this summer anyway. They're linked to Benjamin Sesko as an option, as are Manchester United to potentially replace. Every player's got his fee, right? So there's going to be a price tag that Newcastle are on it. I mean, is that the game here? They've just got to hold out and try and rinse as much as possible. If Isak wants to go, we'll say you'll have to stay.
It's tough because a lot of the signings that Newcastle had made previous have been brought in to cement a future for Newcastle, not just come in, have 1 or 2 seasons and then leave. Looking at it from the Liverpool side of things as well, where you've just signed Ekitike, how's he going to feel? I've just come in here thinking I'm going to push Darwin Núñez and Cody Gakpo in those forward positions, and yet now you're bringing somebody else in that I'm going to have to put under, that's going to put me under pressure. Where do I fit? So I think that's also what Isak's got to think about. I'm not. If I want to be a number. I want to be that first name on the team sheet. He's not going to get that at Liverpool. If one bad game and that's it, he'll get dropped. So does he stick with Newcastle at the moment? I say I feel for them after obviously the Trafford situation today. I think it's so funny. It's your own fault for offering. A curly whirly and 10p. That's your own fault for doing it that way. So yeah, it's hard for Newcastle because they are trying to build and they've just got that Champions League football as well. And now they should be strengthening in numbers. And it seems everyone's looking at them almost like, and every name they link with goes somewhere else.
And it's tough now because Isak said so kind of late in the window. A lot of the striker targets have already moved. I know Sesko is one, Grimmy, that we've heard the name of linked to United as well, and possibly one that's still out there. Arsenal were potentially linked to him, but obviously went the Gyökeres route in the end. Sesko, if Isak goes, the deal that Newcastle have to do. I mean, well, they have to buy a striker because they haven't got anybody. So something will have to happen, but. I know Sesko, a lot of interest, a lot of excitement around Europe about him, but you can't replace Isak, can you? Certainly if you're Newcastle.
I mean, yeah, it's very difficult to replace that like for like, but I do think hearing what probably everyone else has heard about Sesko is that he could be the next big thing, really. So I don't think he'd be a bad replacement by any stretch of the imagination. And plus, let's not forget they've got Alanga who's come in as well, so they are adding to that front line, like on the wings as well. But yeah, if Isak does go, then Sesko they have to get Sesko over the line by any means necessary because, like you say, no Callum Wilson, they don't really have any youngsters coming up as well in terms of a striker. So it's not like our club United, who've got like Obi, who's obviously up and coming at the minute, who could maybe play a game or two, and maybe to start the season if we really, really didn't want to start Højlund and Xerxes. But yeah, I just think if Newcastle do end up selling Isak, they're obviously going to get a lot of money for him. So the Sesko thing kind of seems like a no-brainer, and they just whatever Leipzig tell them, they pay it basically. Just get it over the line. Don't worry about anything else. You've got the money. Just do it, basically.
Well, they're going to know, aren't they? They're going to know if Isak does go that the money is certainly going to be there because it's going to be a huge.
It's the way they're doing transfers as well, though, Sam. Like they're trying to just offer these little bits, thinking, oh, we'll offer a little bit more. But by that point, other teams are coming and stealing their thunder. It's just like, look, if you want them that bad, pay it.
Yeah.
And that's what Newcastle need to be very wary of. So, like Grimmy said, they need to just pay get that striker in. Otherwise, they're going to be doing an Everton and re-signing Callum Wilson or something.
Maybe you could switch. You could share them between you. It does seem a bit, little negotiations here and there, little increments, and as you said, Dan, there's a price, and eventually that price has got to kind of be met. And there is a lot of faffing about when you don't have time in the window. You've got to react. Jen's increasing the inflation on the chocolate bar up to Freddo now. So there's lots.
He must be living in a mansion now. Swear to God,
that's some serious stuff. Serious chocolate bars now. So some big money moves with that involved. So Isak looks, it's going to strengthen Liverpool. Liverpool had a fantastic window already, it's fair to be said. It's going to add something else. But a transfer that you mentioned there, Dan, which is hot off the press, Mr. Trafford going to Manchester City, 27 million English pounds. How are you feeling about Mr. Trafford off to Manchester City?
I'm glad he's going there than Newcastle. Bit of a signal, like I said, the way they've done stuff. But he's going back to a place that he's been at since the age of 12. He's been nurtured there for a long time. Yes, he had his loan moves and probably recent successes with Bolton. But Ake, sorry, Rebecca, got to mention the Ake loan. Couldn't keep quiet. You wouldn't have let me have it, so I had to mention it. But yeah, his loan moves have obviously helped his development as well as we have. And he becomes, I think, the record British goalkeeper signing as well, with all the add-ons. So I can't grumble. The money's there now. We need a centre midfielder. We need a goal scorer. And now need a first choice keeper. But I think he's definitely got all the makings of an England number one, future England number one. I think at City is going to be a lot more protected with the back four, where our back four last season he was very well protected, but in the Premier League it could have been the season he got found out. So let's see what he does. But he's gone there. He's got the number one shirt. So does that spell curtains for Edison and his potential move to Turkey? I just hope all the best for him, because he is a good lad, and he's like, when I've spoken to him, he always seems quite genuine. So yeah, all the best to him.
Go big move, and obviously knows World Cup next year. Obviously Rebecca will ardently say that the number one goalkeeper position is never up for grabs, but obviously looking towards the future, it's interesting to see. And you say Edison potentially on the mood. We've got our Pun City going on in the chat. We've got Paul. Will Sesko get a club card? And we've got Graham. Will he change his name to Etihad? Oh, Graham, you're better than that. Will he change his name to the Etihad? Don't be silly. Come on now. But Edison, Edison Grimmy. Off to looking like he's off. Trafford sort of new. Does this look like a really new Manchester City? We've seen a lot of transfers in the last two windows. They're doing a lot of different style transfers. Is this the start of City building that next generation team? Because we know they were struggling, particularly in midfield and areas last season. But say to change the goalkeeper, to change one or two of the older guard, De Bruyne has gone, Walker's gone. Did you see in this as the start of Guardiola's next phase, or do you think he's just doing some bits and then he'll be off?
No, I think this is the start of the next phase, and I think it's regardless of if Pep's there or not. Basically, I think they're trying to set it up that if Pep does go at the end of the season or the season after, then essentially they've still got a young, strong spine to the squad that'll carry on for the next 5-10 years, basically. I actually think that the Trafford signing is a really good signing for them. Like Dan said, I think he'll be very well protected, and he'll have one of the best managers ever to learn under and do what he needs to do. And there's not many better people to learn and develop under than Pep, really. Especially if you get it right, you turn into an amazing player. And I've always felt, even when he was a youngster going out on loan, and then when he started out at Burnley, I felt like he had a potential to be the England number one, like we're saying. I know he's not at the minute, but I think he will be eventually. Sorry, Rebecca. His time will come, whether it's 2026 or later, we'll find out. But yeah, I think overall the transfers have made a lot of sense. I think they obviously hit the wall last year, City, and they needed that refresh. We all said it at numerous points during the past season. It was just a case of how quickly could they do it. And to be fair, with City and their millions, they can do it pretty quickly. So yeah, they've obviously have an amazing scouting system. So I'm sure annoyingly all of their players will hit the ground running and they'll be back to normal next season. So yeah, we'll see if it brings a title challenge or if it's just going to be a nice, comfortable top four and they build from there, basically.
It's quite exciting from a neutral perspective when you're looking at all of the top teams up there, because the reality is they all look slightly different, don't they? They all look, you're not going into that with, Liverpool have made some massive signings, some massive changes to what was already a title winning side. Arsenal finally gone and got a striker, You've got Chelsea have done a lot of business because Chelsea have done a lot of business, but that's a team that's won the Club World Cup that quietly had a decent season last season with a young squad coming through really well. As you said, Manchester City in a completely new place. Are you excited from that this year? There's more of a title race, Grimmy, than last season that you're seeing, or are you thinking a Liverpool got this stamped all over to go and do it again?
I feel like it would be a lot closer. I feel like if I was to pick a team of the chasing pack, it'd probably be Arsenal, because I still have, whilst I assume City are going to be fine, there's always that element when you are bringing in a lot of younger players in that it doesn't necessarily gel straight away, but it does eventually click. I think it will click. It just depends how quickly it does. But I think that final piece for Arsenal was getting the striker. So I do think it'll be a lot closer. But I'm not exactly excited about it because this is all the rival teams that we're talking about. And I know I'm not supposed to really show bias here, but being a United fan, I don't particularly want to see Liverpool and Arsenal and City all fighting for a Premier League title. I'd rather see like a Burnley just come out of nowhere and win it Leicester style. And then be like, and then we have Dan like partying every single week on the podcast. Like that would get me excited. But yeah,
if that all happens, we're taking the entire podcast to the Burnley Open bus tour. If Burnley come and still
100%, they can tie me to the front of the bus if needs be, and I'll just start chanting. I don't care. Like, yeah, I would 100% do that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a better title race for sure this year. It has to be. It can't be an absolute landslide like it was last year. I don't think.
This is it's going to be exciting. We will cover all of that, I'm sure, on our preview and prediction show, which will be.
Can't wait to be terrible at my predictions again. I should tell you that much.
Yeah, we had such a success last season with our predictions. Why not do it again for a giggle? And Graham's back on better form. Trafford getting the number one jersey could mean it's lights out for Edison. That's better, Graham. It's better. So you're getting into season mode now. And talking of amazing transfers. New Premier League show signing Heather is here in the chat. Hello, team. Yes, if you're seeing that, Heather will be joining the team next season. She'll be coming on very, very, very soon in the coming weeks, as even before the season started, to introduce our new signing, because we've got a pre-season in. Can't just chuck in September. We're pre-seasoning in. We're all ready to go. But Rebecca, Everton have made a signing today. There's been a signing. There's in through the door. Tell us about what Everton are doing. It's not Calvert-Lewin. Who have Everton signed today?
Yeah, we have signed Adam is new. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I apologise if I've just said that wrong. He is a left back from Bayern Munich, I believe. A youngster as well. He's 19. So we have needed cover for the left back position. We do only have one left back at the club, which is Mykolenko. So it will be interesting to see how it works, because the left back position, in my opinion, Everton fans will argue this, is Mykolenko's, and that's that. Like, we'll just leave him there. But to actually have someone to be able to challenge him now and also cover, because he has had injuries recently during the season. So to actually have someone in that position not end up playing Jared Brantwaite as left back or having to affect like our centre back partnership will be really good. We also have, as we already knew, Charlie Alcaraz signed that's all done. He's back in the team, playing as he is. I mean, we've not done great in pre-season, so we're going to ignore that so far. Tieno Barry as well. He's joined up with the squad in America, and we also signed Mark Travers. So we have a backup goalkeeper for Jordan Pickford now. We are being linked with everyone. You see a random name come up, and like anyone and everyone at this point. Calvert-Lewin coming back has been one that's been rumoured. Jack Grealish on loan again. That's back up, where apparently he's open to a loan move to Everton, which will be very interesting, but also quite an exciting one. We've also been linked with Ainsley Maitland-Niles now, so it's just anyone possible. They're just being linked with Everton, I think, at this point, but it'll be interesting. I feel as though we may need a centre-back because we played our first match in America against Bournemouth with only one centre-back within our team, which was Jake O'Brien, because Jared's injured and hasn't travelled. Don't know what's going on with Michael Keane. He is there and we all thought he was fit, but he went to go and watch baseball and then just hasn't played. And James Tarkowski's still injured. So the only centre-back we currently have is Jake O'Brien, because we've not taken our 2 academy lads that we've also got signed as centre-backs. We've just not taken them. So that was an interesting setup of having Nathan Patterson and Vitaly Mikolenko in our back 3.
That's all you need. It's
all bodies. They're there. They'll block the ball. It'll be fine.
It's people. Nick says the same names linked to Everton have also been linked to half the league. These agents have been busy. Yeah, they have. The agents earn their pennies, I'm sure. The many pennies that will be earned by agents this summer. No doubt about it. Heather says, you've only played Bournemouth. You haven't beaten us for a while. You'll be all right. You always are. Yeah.
If we're on about, well, I know like Premier League pre-season friendly sort of thing we have on the play Bournemouth. But previous to that, we got beat off Blackburn 1-0.
Ugh.
We drew to Accrington Stanley. And
the mighty Accrington Stanley, Rebecca.
Yeah, sorry. Aki took the lead, thinking, see, I was a full neutral. I confused everyone around us. Aki scored, I was screaming, then going to sing Spirit of the Blues, and then back to screaming for Aki. So apologies to everyone sat around me at that match, because I was very
How many laps of the Wham Stadium did you end up doing to sit on both ends?
we were in hospitality, so we were a neutral spot.
So I was in hospital, I ran so much between the seats.
Like Stretch Armstrong just that. Yay! Yay!
Yeah, and the only reason we got the draw was through a penalty, which was an interesting one. So Beto scored that. So yeah, we drew with Aki, got beat off Blackburn. We beat Port Vale behind closed doors. So that's been our only pre-season win so far.
Yeah, plenty of time for it all to come together. It's not you know. When Calvert-Lewin gets back, it's going to be a different story. It's going to be a different story. Well, I say plenty of pre-season to go. Plenty of try. It sounds like Everton still need a deal or two, as do some clubs. So it's going to be and just remember that the window is open stupidly as the season goes on. So we're going to have all of that nonsense yet to have once the season kicks off. But
Moyes came out in an interview and he was on about the signings and he was like, yeah, we've approached quite a few players, but none of them want to come. So that's just great. Like, we've got the new ground, everyone thinking, oh yeah, playing at Bramley Moor, not the new name, will be great. Like, that's what's going to entice the players in, thinking new ground, decent manager, good squad, and then they're just like, nah, we don't want him. So that's fun.
I'm sure there's a big list. I'm sure it's a big short list. They'll get their way. Calvert-Lewin's on there somewhere. Callum Wilson, maybe. It'll be fine.
Everton are just glad that his name's got 3 barrels to it, so they can put it downwards, so it looks like they've got more on their list.
Yeah,
he's on 3 separate lines. Look at the depth of this list.
Put middle name in as well to make it long.
This is it. I say plenty of time. Nothing to be worried about, I'm sure, for Everton so far. Everything will be all right. Grimmy, should we talk about Manchester United?
If we have to, I guess.
Little chin wag about what's going on there over in America at the minute.
Yes, certainly are.
beat West Ham. There you go. Like things are looking positive.
What more could you possibly want?
There we go. Brian and Bremo is in, or Mbumo now, as they're calling him. I'm pretty sure it was in Bremo also, but it seems to be changed to Mbumo now. So Brian and Mbumo is now joined Manchester United alongside Mateus Cunha. Marcus Rashford has gone to Barcelona. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm not subscribed to the slating him going to Barcelona, because if Barcelona want him, fair dues, they may well get something out of him that we've not been able to get out of him for the past few seasons. But I don't subscribe to the he's he doesn't deserve that move, or having to go at him because he's got that move. We've seen lesser players go to like Bayern Munich or PSG and get a decent move, and you think,
and managers, Grimmy.
Well, that's yeah. So if he plays well, hopefully they sign him and we get some money for him next summer, and he hopefully does what he's setting out to do and gets to the World Cup next year. But we'll see. This
is it from the player's perspective. Like you can't. He wants to go to Barcelona. You're not going to turn down Barcelona. I don't think it's Rashford's fault that they want him. And I think it's also a case of I think that league will suit him. I think because he's a player one-on-one, running winger. He likes to work with space. That you get that in the league a lot more. I think it might suit Rashford a little bit better. And say for the individual player of the World Cup on his mind, if Barcelona have a great season, he's going to be playing Champions League. He's going to be doing bits in and about, and we've seen it. Like players have gone and we've gone, what are they doing getting in? And then Bayern Munich have done it in the past. They've signed players and then it works in the system. So from United's perspective, he's off the wage bill, so frees that up. It would have been nice to get a fee. But Saudi Arabia are in for Anthony, Grimmy. That's what I've heard. There's some cash. There's some cash being mentioned. Maybe they might recoup some of that massive transfer fee.
What in? I mean, to be fair, of all the players that were available on the Man United roster, Anthony was probably the one we were going to get the most money for in the summer. I just didn't think it was going to come from Saudi, because I know Saudi obviously signed everyone, but I didn't think they would literally sign everyone, including Anthony. So, fair play to him if that's what he wants and he wants to go there. And, we do need to get rid of him. If that's the only place we can sell him to, that's what we have to do. We just have to get the money for him and take it, and then hopefully we can use it to get a decent striker. Because again, I'll not say Sesko in case that doesn't happen. But yeah,
Calvert-Lewin's available.
Someone said that to me the other day. I went, if Dominic Calvert-Lewin signs for Man United, that may well be me not watching football for the rest of this, for the entirety of the season, or until he leaves. That might be my breaking point.
Could have had Wout Weghorst back.
Look,
go on, Vouty.
As much as you can say about Weghorst, he put a shift in. Didn't do a whole lot else, but he put a shift in.
He was a trier, and God loves a trier.
Yeah, and we haven't had a lot of them recently. I don't know if anyone's noticed.
That's fair.
If we had 11 Wout Weghorst, we would have been nowhere near 15th. Oh, something like that. I don't know. But yeah.
We wouldn't have scored any goals. That's the problem with 11 Wout Weghorst. But so obviously the striker position, Grimmy, is probably the one. It looking like United now need to sell to buy with where they're at. And obviously they're still trying to offload Garnacho, Anthony, Sancho and Malacia seem to be the four, unless any crazy bids come in elsewhere, which doesn't look likely. They've done a few business, and they've done this in the past few windows, youngsters that we've sort of seen that then, break into the first team. Aiden Heaven last season, Chido Obi as well. Looks like he's going to be part of the squad for this season. Yeah. The two names that seem to be linked around, and it seems to be a kind of two different strategy and may depend on the finances. As you mentioned, Benjamin Sesko, as obviously we mentioned with Newcastle, and Ollie Watkins being the other one. Yeah. Where do you sit on? Because Watkins looks like cheaper fee, potentially linked if Villa can get another player, but 29, 30 in December. But proven Premier League in terms of what you're getting. Sesko is, as you said, a very, very exciting young talent, but potentially needs some nurturing. And Manchester United haven't always proved the best place to go for nurturing young talents in recent years. Where do you sit on that kind of Watkins or Sesko for the fees they're talking about?
I personally would go with Sesko because as much as I like Watkins, it's the age thing that gets me. Like, he's obviously Premier League proven. There's no debating that. But I just think, like, if you sign Watkins for 40, 50 million, you're only getting 2, maximum 3 top seasons out of him. He is, the past couple of seasons, he has been partial to like picking up a couple of knocks as well. So like, it feels like there's not necessarily a huge risk, but he's only getting older, and it doesn't feel like that would be the right move for us to necessarily gamble on. I just think the upside with Sesko is a lot more than what you'll get with Watkins. Watkins, you'll get steady. With Sesko, it could be the guy in a season or two to kick you on. And to be honest, having seen him in bits and pieces for Leipzig, I like the output and what he does. So, yeah, I'd go for Sesko. Even if it is going to probably financially ruin us for the next 5 seasons, I'd probably go for Sesko.
Sesko is that more kind of longer term view, isn't it? If they can get it, if they can work the finances and make it happen, and obviously you've got Newcastle, as we said, very, very heavily, and that may be influenced by the Isak deal as well in terms of what happens. So, and it's interesting. Amorim said this quite a few times in his pre-season press conferences, saying that we've only got 1 game a week this year. You know, unless United have a run in the cups, it's 38 games. It's so that there is more competition for those places, and we haven't got to worry about middle week sort of Europa leagues or anything like that. So there is going to be possibly you can cope with an injury or two a little bit easier in theory because you haven't then got to stretch them back to get them back because there's a midweek game. Do you see what I mean? It's going to be easier to manage.
Yeah.
How have you made of sort of like say so far in pre-season? Have you seen anything of United so far?
I saw a bit of the West Ham game. I chose not to watch Leeds game just out of principle because it was Leeds. But yeah, in terms of the West Ham game, again, it's a pre-season, so I don't want to take too much from it. But we did look quite sharp. Obviously, the end product wasn't necessarily there 100% time. Shocker, it's Man United. Who would have thought? But I did think we looked quite sharp. My problem is going to be when we get to the full season is what happens with Bruno, because I quite like the pairing of Ugarte and Menu, and I think he's going to wedge Bruno in as the number 8 or the number 6, and I just don't think that's going to work long term. And I think obviously when Kuna and Bremo get here, you're signing them to be your 2 number 10s. So is Bruno going to be more of a hindrance? Maybe, I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, I took some positives out of the West Ham performance, but I'm not getting ahead of myself and saying that number 21 is on its way yet. That's if we sign Calvert-Lewin.
An absolute game changer. Yeah, I think that midfield combination is going to be interesting because I'd like to see more of Mainu this season, 100%. I think Ugarte fills the role in certain games, and then you might do something a little bit different. And it does seem that there was a few players that they're going to try and fit in around those positions now. You know, you've got Bruno, Mason Mount still in the squad as well. You said in Bremo, Amad Diallo, where he's going to fit into all of this. So yeah, there's still lots of, as usual, Manchester United. There's lots of questions. There's always lots of questions. But Dan, we'll come to you on what obviously Trafford's gone out. What's coming in? What's coming in at Burnley?
Nothing at the moment. It's literally been a lot of Burnley fans posting that meme of a stick man just with a stick saying "do something." That's where we are at. We've had Jens Kajust, who was on loan at Ipswich last season, follow the club on Instagram, and then all of a sudden quickly take it off. So we don't know what's happened there, but he were linked. And then the same day that he'd apparently followed the club, he was seen in the airport, potentially flying over, but I don't know now. There's somebody else linked with a move. I don't know what's happening. I don't know whether Burnley are waiting until the turn of the PSR on the 1st of August, maybe before they start doing any more business. But now they've got money in for Trafford, and it's the bulk of that money, 27 million of it, has all been up front. Why not use it? Don't get me wrong, we obviously already had 4 players through the door that we had on loan last year. So that was a pretty solid start. But We brought in Quillinchi Hartman, who I massively rate. I think he's still very young. He's 23, something like that, from Feyenoord. And he was linked with Chelsea last year, but then yet again, I thought that was a great thing until I realised who hasn't been linked with Chelsea. So,
yeah. Although he probably has at some point, in all honesty.
Probably.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do at left back. I think he's just an absolutely solid player. It's one of them that, when your club signs somebody that you've signed on Football Manager, it's like you're almost like that. You feel, I'm a 5-star scout, me. I am God.
Mystic Dan strikes again.
But no, the re-signing of Jakob Brun-Larsen as well, I think, has been his first class. Nobody wanted to see him go after his loan move under company. Was our top scorer that season as well. We didn't score many, but he was the top scorer in it. But we are going to have, like I say, Kyle Walker. I mean, what a pull that is. Yes, he's at the back end of his probably career, but he's still going to offer you so much. If you're looking for that, trying to catch teams on the counter, he's going to be there, finding those pockets of space, looking for the overlap from the winger as well. So yeah, there is still a lot of positions that need to be covered. We haven't got the depth. If you're looking at the rumours coming out, like say at Sunderland and Leeds, they are obviously solidifying themselves in certain areas without selling much. And we've obviously lost now, like say Traff, Brownhill on a free, CJ Riley on a free, who was obviously very good for us last year as well. So we've got really big shoes to fill. And I just hope that there is going to be a few tricks up the sleeve, ones that haven't really come out in social media yet. And Burnley have just gone, you didn't think we're doing that though, did you? So who knows? Who knows what's to come? I'm just looking forward to it. Obviously, the way of the market these days, you're not getting anyone for peanuts. It's very difficult to look into the Championship for a bargain anymore. Ever since that Ross McCormack deal years and years ago, it's just absolutely blown transfer fees out the water. So let's see what happens. I'm just looking forward to the campaign where we've signed some attacking flair players, which not something you'd expect with Burnley, to be honest. Just so direct. Yeah, like I say, Sir Shithouse himself, Ashley Barnes, signed a 1-year extension. That was decent. I can't see him playing much, but I think he's going to be that inspirational character in the dressing room, the father figure of the group that says, look, I've been here when we've had the good times. I've been here when we've had the bad times. But, almost to quote Slippy G, but it doesn't slip now. We've got to go and crack on and take each game as it comes. And I was just surprised that we start off away at Spurs when that was the last team we played that condemned our relegation the last time we were in the Prem. But the Premier League like a story as well. Parker back at Spurs, so I'm just happy. I'm just happy. We got what I think Axel Twenzebe from Ipswich as well.
Yeah.
Who Ipswich fans aren't really happy with that, but he's happy to be more back up north. And I say back up north, but like Suffolk sideways from where we are. It's not even like up or down. It's practically just to the side.
I suppose it keeps him local for his court issue with Man United as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. I find that weird though. Like all these years, and why now? It is a strange one. It's like, oh, sorry, Ineos is in. They've got money. Maybe now I'll start tapping them for it.
Hang on a minute. Yes, you guys. I need to talk to you about something.
He's been declined for Pip, hasn't he, basically? And now he wants revenge.
He wants it back. He wants it paid tenfold. Heather also says you've got Jaden Anthony. I presume that's Jaden Anthony on a permanent.
Yeah.
Says he's a great lad, and most importantly, smells incredible. It's Joe Malone, according to Heather. That's probably a secret hidden attribute, isn't it, Grimmy, on Football Manager? I've not seen that in the attributes list. Smells great,
Loves big matches. Joe Malone. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. And there's plenty of time, as we said, Dan, plenty of time for business. But as you mentioned, like you've seen stuff that obviously Leeds and Sunderland are doing. What do you make? Obviously, Sunderland with Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka is the one that's obviously made Ant's a very excitable man at the moment with the signing of Granit Xhaka. Is that a surprising one? Is that someone you'd have been absolutely chomping at the bit to have at your side?
No, I think Burnley fans don't like Granit Xhaka after they last got him sent off in one of the games. But then yet again, we said the same with Joey Barton, and yeah, this is what Sunderland are going to get. They're going to get a player that's been around for a while, and is going to know when to ramp the rest of the team up. That's what Sunderland need for me, and I've said it to Ant as well that top six in the Championship, none of them teams were ready for the Premier League, not at all. So they did need to heavily invest, and I think Granit Xhaka is a solid signing for them. I just don't see it working depending on the tactic. If he goes for a similar tactic to the Championship with probably Granit Xhaka and Enzo Lafay, it's like, right, yeah, you've got two solid central midfielders, but where else is everything going to come from? Because yes, you had the attacking flair last year, but that you're not going to get the same, outcome in the Premier League. You're going to be on the back foot, and it's a case of you've just got to be clinical when your chances come. Otherwise, it's curtains. It's a good signing. I'm surprised that Jordan Henderson didn't go there. Like I say, for me, I think that not just for me, I think for everyone was a massive shock that he's gone to somebody else in blue and white. Red and white.
That'll get you in trouble. Good Lord.
It's a good job I didn't say black and white, innit? God, that could have been worse.
Ant would have burst through that wall behind you in about 2 seconds flat if you'd said that.
Been like the Kool-Aid guy or Family Guy.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good signing for Sunderland. Good stopgap, and like I said, they'll depend on what they do next season. Should be massive. Like I say, influential person in the dressing room.
Yeah, big personality, and so they've spent, I think, outside of the top six, they've spent more than anybody else. Which is, we saw Ipswich do the same sort of last season, and it didn't quite work out. Rebecca, some good names that they've signed as well. I mean, Adingra of Brighton, that's quite a good sort of coup for them as well, and they've got a number of other players from around Europe, probably less known. Siddiqui of Union Saint-Gilloise, I presume not on your hasn't played in Scotland, so I'm not sure whether
pronunciation that was, Sam.
There we are. Diarra, they've had him for Strasbourg. What are you thinking of Sunderland? Do you like this model of the fact that they seem to be ambitious? They seem to be wanting to bring talents in and do something different in terms of coming up this time? Or where do you think? Do you think Sunderland can, don't spoil your predictions, but do you think Sunderland are going about it the right way?
You just don't know, because like we said, we saw this switch last season of like the buying of the players and trying to recruit the talent that they did, and it just didn't seem to work. But then it's like the gap between the Prem and the newly promoted Championship sides each season is just getting bigger. So I feel as though it's kind of like the inevitable could happen. You don't want to see it happen to any of the teams. Like, you want to actually see a good fight that can happen, and I do feel as though we could maybe get that this season. I feel as though like it's not gonna be as big of a gap like it was last season where we already knew. And I think it was a stat that came out of it's gone out of my head now, but it was like how quick the teams were relegated in comparison to what we've seen. So I do feel as though like Sunderland, especially Burnley as well, are going the right way about business, and it is quite excited to see. I do just have one question for Dan. I think you know who I'm going to be asking about.
Adam Woomy back.
Yeah.
I hope he does go back to Dundee. To be fair, he had a good campaign out there. It all depends on clearly what Burnley want to achieve with him personally. Whether they want to think, right, yeah, he's done really well there. Do we try to develop him further, or do we give him another season? So yeah, it will be interesting with him. Like I say, he's still very, very young. But I wouldn't begrudge him going back there. So if it was up to me, Bex, you could have him.
Thank you.
And I'd send him up with a bottle of Joe Malone as well.
It's your pleasure, all my lawn. Nick says Sunderland made some good signings, but a few of them will be missing December, January at AFCON, which is, of course, this year. And also talks of Leeds. Leeds missing out on Paxao, who's gone to Marseille as a blow. They seem to be sort of heavily linked with him. But Leeds seem to have missed out on a couple of signings so far this summer. So things not quite going maybe so well for them and their plans this season in the transfer window, at least. One thing I want to come to next, Grimmy, is a transfer that we thought was happening, looking like it was going to happen. Mr. Morgan Gibbs-White. Tottenham. No. Nottingham Forest there with Mr. Marinakis in the interview.
What a character.
What do you make of first of all, Morgan Gibbs-White looking like he's staying, and second of all, that interview?
Oh, that interview. Oh, God, it was beautiful. Him staying is obviously a massive surprise because generally when you get to the point where you hear they've triggered a release clause and he's agreed terms, that's pretty much 99.99999% certain that the guy's signing on the dotted line. But Marinakis is not one to let release clauses get in the way. He was not standing for the shenanigans that were happening in the background. So, yeah. You think you've seen everything with Forest, and then they do something else. I mean, fair play to him. If he thinks that he's been wronged in some way, which by the sounds of how he's describing it, it seems like they have been, then, he has every right to stop it happening. And he's given, obviously, Gibbs-White a new contract, more money, everything that he probably wanted in the first place. So, yeah. That interview did kind of look, though, that he had a bit of a gun to the back of his head a little bit, and he was like, "Yeah, thank you, sir, for this tuppence you've given me with this contract. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you next summer when I leave anyway." Is basically how I'm reading it. But yeah, bizarre, but it's Forest and Marinakis, so not that bizarre, really, in the end.
I love a bit of shithousery from an owner, let alone a player. My favourite bit, I think, was the look towards camera, which is blatantly for Daniel Levy, and was just kind of like yeah, bitch.
Help me.
Not happening. I mean, it was a classic. Dan, did you enjoy? Did you enjoy that interview? It was a little bit. I did feel for Morgan Gibbs-White a little bit in that position, having to speak in that way.
It's just Marinakis all over. He's such he's a character. He's one of them that when he actually stops being in charge of a football club, it's almost like a Neil Warnock. That I think when people look at him and think, what an absolute so and so, but then obviously when he finishes, it's like, oh, he's actually not that bad of a person. He seems all right. He seems quite genuine. Like I say, I've always had my issues with him since he stormed into the referees' room at half-time against Burnley in the Europa League. So I've always had negative things to say against Marinakis since that day. But yeah, it's just bizarre, really bizarre. How these things come about. Like Grimmy said, you thought the deal were done. He was going to Spurs, but Thomas the Frank Engine didn't pull up into the station, did he?
No,
and that was it.
It did not happen, as Nick says in the chat. But MGW had not agreed terms. Neither the medical was booked, and Spurs put down the fee, but they failed to meet all the triggers. Rebecca, how big is this for Nottingham Forest to keep Morgan Gibbs-White off the back of obviously Anthony Elanga going? They've been doing some bits and doing some a few signings coming in from Brazil and whatnot for Nottingham Forest. But to keep Morgan Gibbs-White, massive.
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, club captain as well. He's been one of their most positive players, and he is a very talented one that just knows Forest and knows what it means to play for them at this point, and to see where Forest have been, especially last season. It is a quite exciting time for the club, especially. So it's one of them to be able to keep one of their most creative and I'd say one of their best players, arguably, to be able to keep him and make sure that he hasn't gone to Tottenham, and it does just make them look quite funny, so we can all have a good laugh in the transfer window as well. So it's one of them, they're bringing the entertainment at the end of it. So no, it's an important one for Forest to be able to keep him, and hopefully this doesn't affect anything, because you just don't know, like, especially with the interview and just everything that's been going on behind the scenes, you don't want it to affect him within the team. But it looks like everything will be smooth sailing for them, hopefully.
Tickety boo. And we love a bit of entertainment. That's what we're here for. A bit of wonderful, wonderful entertainment. Right, I'm going to go around the team. If there's any other transfers or any clubs or anything you want to talk about, should we start with Dan? Anything else has caught your eye in the transfer window?
I've just seen that Chelsea's João Felix has signed for Al Nassr in a £43.7 million deal, which makes him altogether the fourth highest total transfer in history behind Neymar, Lukaku, and Ronaldo.
That's mad. The transfer fees that have been spent on João Felix
on absolute shite as well.
But that's mad.
You know, they've been trying to get rid of him for
what,
about 2 seasons?
1, 2. So out of the top 10, we have bought 4 of those players.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Pretty impressive.
And we've probably got back about not even that, a sixth of those transfer fees.
You have got to say, with kind of Chelsea's model, etc., they are good at getting fees out of players. You know, when they do kind of sell them, like, you know, that they do spend a lot, but they do recoup a fair amount as well.
If only we could get like even half of what Chelsea get for their transfer fees, we'd be laughing. We would be laughing. And so, Joshua, unfortunately, we have answered this question. We have done the Watkins or Sesko. If you go back about 20 minutes, Batman here in the corner was answering the question. Very own Grimmy. He'll give you that. Don't worry. Watch the rest of the pod first, but then go back. We did talk about Watkins versus Sesko. Don't worry about it. It's there. Rebecca, any other transfers? Anything else grabbing your attention?
Ramsdale being linked with Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. No offense to Aaron Ramsdale, and this will probably come out as wrong as it. I think that clubs should be looking to avoid him at this point, because he's been with 3 different clubs. Each one of them clubs has been relegated. It's not his fault. It's not him. But there has been quite a bit of relegation linked to Aaron Ramsdale, so. Well, if he goes to Newcastle, remember that for your predictions, because it could be a 4.
Hey, no. Bex, look, I've got to sort of counter that. I was in the same group when we signed Tom Heaton. It was Sean Dash's first signing on a free, been relegated with Bristol City, relegated with Cardiff, and ended up becoming an England international. And I think that's what Ramsdale, it's almost quite similar that's what Ramsdale wants to try and achieve. I don't know how he's going to do it, because, like I say, at the moment, when you look at it, yeah, you'd think, just do not touch him. He's like the Aaron Ramsey at Cardiff. He's just, something happens that shouldn't when Aaron Ramsey gets involved, or Aaron Ramsdale does something. So I don't know. I think it's one of those where Eddie Howe knows, Aaron Ramsdale, and wants to sort of be put back together with him. And maybe he's that right manager to put his arm around him and boost his confidence.
Yeah, I think if you look at what he did at Arsenal, obviously before, Arteta was kind of brutal with it and made the right call, as we've seen as time's gone on. And hindsight's a funny thing, but I think that if I was Ramsdale, there is no way I would have touched Southampton's goalkeeper jersey with a barge pole. That was like the wrong move entirely. Like, we don't know how much interest there was in him, because of course Southampton bought him outright or whatever. But yeah, like, Southampton was not the team to go to. Even if you're going bottom half or bottom 5, there were so many better options out there that needed a goalkeeper, and probably should have taken a different option, or even just stayed on the Arsenal bench for another year and waited for someone to come in, maybe the January transfer window, for a loan or something. Because I think the Southampton thing really has damaged him and his reputation. Even though I still think he's a good goalkeeper, he's going to have to go somewhere else and prove it now. And I think if Newcastle, like Rebecca's saying, and the rumours are saying, are in for him, then I think he will do well there, because I think it's the right sort of club for him as well, because they do like their characters up up north in the northeast. So yeah, I think he'll fit in quite well. But I feel very sorry for him because I think each time it's gone wrong, it's not necessarily been down to him. So yeah, he probably, like Dan says, he needs that confidence boost really.
Yeah, this is it. It's unfortunate. He said the Southampton move was only kind of going one way, and things could have been even worse if it wasn't for him. To be fair, last season on that kind of thing. So yeah, an interesting one.
Yeah, again, Sam as well. He's been linked with Newcastle. Let's not forget. So he's probably going to end up somewhere else.
This is true. There's several bids to go yet before they get to that.
Would Burnley have him?
Position.
No.
Just
I won't take the risk. I think if anything, that's going to be an extra contributing factor to relegation. Ramsdale. I don't know who I would look at. I know we were apparently looking at Sam Johnston, but I think that again is similar to a Ramsdale sort of signing. Again, he's been in an underachieving Wolves side. Who knows? But I'd probably tap into Manchester City, ask him if they're not going to use Ortega, why not? You know, he needs the football. So let's see.
Tom Eaton sitting on our bench if you want him.
We wanted him last year.
Yeah,
we wanted him last year to come in as a number 2, but he said, "Why would I sit as Manchester? I could sit here as Manchester United's 3rd, 4th choice and be on triple the amount of money of what you're offering. If I'm coming, I want to be playing football." So, you know what? Fair enough. I can't blame him.
Onana, I can give you Onana if you want. We've got him available if you want.
I've got more trust in my own Nana.
Fair enough.
And she's been dead 6 years.
Oh, fair enough.
Fair enough. And Joshua says Tom Heaton. He's still got it. He's still got it as Tom Heaton. He has. He's still got it. He still do a job. No doubt about it. Grimmy, any transfers caught your eye? We've not talked about any clubs doing stuff.
No, not really. I think there's kind of. I mean, the one that kind of concerns me more for the team itself is West Ham because they don't really seem to be doing anything. And watching them on, was it Saturday or Sunday when they played United, they just looked so out of ideas and so lifeless. Like it kind of, I think Bowen is obviously their spark going forward at the minute. And it just seems like they need to try and get him as much help as possible because if they stay up, he's going to be the one that's done it for them, I think, basically. So, yeah, I think the only thing that's sort of interesting me in terms of outside of what we talked about is the distinct lack of business that we're seeing from some of the teams down there, especially likes of West Ham. Everton, I think, will sort themselves out eventually, but obviously they've not got a defense or any central defenders to speak of. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there.
West Ham do look like they've stagnated, don't they? I mean, so it was poor season last season, and then to not be doing anything. They've also got the Kudus money as well from Tottenham, nothing's happening. Hammers fans who must be absolutely. You think where they came from? Say ever since the conference final, since they got rid of Moyes, as we said at the time, might look back to regret that. And things are just not kind of happened. Joshua said that they've signed Juve from Slavia Prague, and apparently they're signing Callum Wilson. So there's one name.
That's not a bad signing, though. I think anyone in the bottom half, it's a good signing. If Callum Wilson even gives you 5-6 games in a row, he's going to probably score in 2 or 3 of those if he's fit. So, you know,
I would 100% take Callum Wilson at Burnley initially. You look at the way he plays. He's a poacher style player as well. He's always there. He's niggling to get on the end of every single ball that comes into the box. That's what Burnley need. And we've not had that since Datro Fofana on loan from Chelsea. Other than that, we've sort of look at last season. We've had to rely on our central midfielder scoring 18 goals. So what happens there? I mean, what happens with Jadon Sancho, by the way? Linked with Dortmund, weren't it?
Well, I think Juventus seemed to be one of the ones that was linked. The problem seems to be the wages, doesn't it? The problem seems to be the wages is that Sancho's not prepared to take the cut as much, I think, is what some of the problem is. I don't think the fee's so much of an issue. But I think Juventus is one they seem to be linked. But I think, again, it's linked to Juventus's other business and certain things that needs to happen. So I think it's one of these, like, as you know, like one transfer will domino about 5 or 6. I think that's the thing with Sancho. It seems to be linked, but Amram's trying to play the card because I think they kind of made it a bit easy for everybody at the start of the summer. Saying, "Yeah, we don't want these players; they're all over here. They're going to go." And so everybody went, "All right, then we'll just wait until we don't have to pay anything for them at like kind of the end of the window and play silly beggars." And now Amram's saying, "Wow, if they come back, they come back. They're part of the squad and the rest of it." So not sure that's going to work, is it? I'm not sure we're buying that. So. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think that there seems to be what the rumours are saying with Sancho is it's linked to a couple of other deals, but time is getting on and some of these players are still not moving, are they? Not moving. So I've always been a fan of getting deals done. I like deals done early. I like to be able to prepare and have the season and have it ready. I hate this late transfer business. It's panic mode as well. You know, you get somebody in, and while it's exciting on deadline day, you've played 2 games, and then you've got to spend the next month and a half bed in the mid, and you don't see anything of them until Christmas. It's, if you know, sometimes needs must, but you don't really want to plan your business that way. I don't think so.
Are you talking about football? Are you talking about assembling the squad for the podcast this year? Because I can't tell the difference.
Podcast is done, mate. I've done my business.
Exactly.
Done my business. We've made the moves. I mean, you know, someone's available on a late. Who knows? Who knows? Who might make a late switch. But at the minute, fairly happy. You know, when the market's open, we're always looking around. No, we're pretty happy with what we've got. I think we've got some good additions coming up for the Championship this year. Do you know what I mean? They've strengthened the core of the squad, so we're looking good.
Present company not included, eh?
Yeah, I was talking about Ant. Sorry, Dan. No, we're happy. We're happy with the wonderful, wonderful team that we have. Some more from the chat. There's some rumours in the chat. Nottingham Forest reportedly made a 25 bid for McAtee. It was rejected. Man City want 42.5 million for him. Big price. Big price.
We're also in for him, apparently. I got a notification the other day and I nearly threw my phone at a wall because it was so ridiculous. So apparently we were willing to spend 120 mil. Like, that's our transfer budget that we've been given by our new owners just on James McAtee. That was what it said, in which we are still apparently after him and still wanting to try and get him. And it has come down significantly from then. But apparently, we were willing to spend up to that much. Whether that includes the current players we've already got, but it didn't seem to be that way.
Yeah, that might be overpaying.
I think Everton need to be careful as well. Over the last couple of years, they've gone and spent money on players that have been dropped. I mean, you look at who were the guy that David Klassen.
Yeah.
You know, players like that I just thought didn't really suit the model at the time. But under Koeman, under Carlo Ancelotti, there was a few that like money was spent, but it didn't really better Everton to the point where they now have that block to build from. It's now built on the new stadium, and can we build on the successes here and almost like a fresh start? But obviously, it's down to Harry Hill and David Dickinson and their new shiny stadium.
So a fresh start means Calvert-Lewin on a free, apparently. Hey,
are they willing to spend 150 odd million in medical bills? Bring in Calvert-Lewin.
This isn't even the first time something like this has happened. Last season, we were apparently interested in signing Tom Cannon, one of our academy lads that we had let go. But we're going to re-sign him back for more than we actually let him go for.
You're talking to two people here who witnessed Paul Pogba come back for 90 million after letting him go on a free. So let's not get too involved in that discussion. That still hurts me to this day.
I mean, the other one that's worked for us is Idrissa. Like, we let him go, and then we signed him back for, what was it, like 1 mil, and that was it. And then we signed him on a contract now. And it's one of them, he's one that's worked well for us in terms of re-signing.
That was a good one. And I'm still enjoying Dan's Harry Hill and David Dickinson. I mean, you couldn't get further apart, could you? Both posty bald man and fake tan, long-haired dude. I mean, that's the
only one way to find out.
It is a classic. And Nick confirming on Nottingham Forest deals. I think we covered this on the last one. Igor Jesus, and Joao Cunha in, and Daniel Ndoye. Yes, Bologna looks like that's potentially happening as well for Nottingham Forest. So they're getting a bit of cheeky business done. I think there's one more transfer to talk about, and then we've got the wonderful Scottish Rebecca roundup to come. Don't worry, Grimmy, there's no quiz this week because we've left it just to Rebecca's
Thank you.
Scottish roundup. I want to get your thoughts on Gyökeres at Arsenal. I know we touched on it very briefly. We didn't really talk about it too much. Is that the piece? Is that the piece for Arsenal? Do you think, Grimmy, that they needed? I mean, Gyökeres comes with a lot of fanfare, a lot of excitement, a lot of goals in Portugal. Is he the piece that they need to make that jump, that step?
I think so. I think if you look at obviously his goals speak for themselves in Portugal. The amount he scored, even if he translates that into a third of into the Premier League, a third of what he's done in Portugal, then he's still going to be scoring 15, 20 goals in a season. So, Arsenal have been desperate for a number 9 striker for over 3, 4, maybe 5 years now. And if he has a somewhat decent start to his time at Arsenal, yeah, they're going to close that gap to the top because that's what they missed last year. And that's what they've missed really since, maybe Aubameyang when he was actually playing well for them before he left. Was it Barca he left for? I think he'll make a difference. Whether it's enough to get them the title, that's kind of tricky to say because I think obviously we've mentioned it before with Liverpool's transfer window and then potentially getting Isak as well as what they've already got. It's kind of difficult to look past them, but I certainly think having Gyökeres will win them those maybe 3-4 games that they couldn't get over the line last year and picked up too many draws. So yeah, I think he'll make a big difference.
Could be a big difference, Victor Gyökeres. There we go. I thought he's on the thumbnail. We better mention him. We have. I'm sure we'll be mentioned again many times this season. But of course, if you're new to the podcast, when we get into the season, we do European leagues and we go around the leagues in terms of what's coming on. And of course, we have our Scottish correspondent. Paul says Scotland. I thought National was his last night. Digging in early. But we have Mukruk Becca, her Scottish roundup, and lovely handwriting notes as well for the Scottish roundup. They're back because Scotland has started. The Scottish League Cup has started, and Rebecca is going to talk to us about what's going on, mainly with Dundee, but what's going on in Scotland.
So, it was the Premier Sport Cup in the Scottish leagues because this one covers quite a few. The group stages are now done. I'm not going to cover every single match in every single team. Otherwise, as I said, we will be here until next month and I'd still be going like we'd be talking about. They're all very random teams at this point. Dundee are now out of the cup, so that's fun. Won't be covering this one that much on the podcast.
Season's not even started and you're at the cup. What's going on?
Well, to start the cup, I was able to go to the first match in which we got beat 1-0. So that great start. Lost at home 1-0 to Adrianians. Yeah, of course, the match I went to watch. But there was one positive within this match of it was the first time I got to see Ryan Astley play a full 90 minutes for the first time in 2 years. So for me, that was a highlight. Second match saw them travel to Alloa, hoping to bounce back with a very changed side, but suffered another 1-0 defeat. So it was a great start to
just to start. Everton's pre-season start and Dundee, it's not been quite a good month, really, has it?
Rebecca's lost 7 games.
Tell me, Aki had something going for them. For the love of God.
Aki, we drew with Everton. We got beat off Blackburn. We were winning 3-0 against Wigan and got beat 5-3.
Oh.
So last season still continues then.
But we beat Rotherham 4-1. So take of that what you will. I don't know.
So you tell me there's a chance?
We're winning league. Yeah, so the trip to Alloa ended in defeat. But Tuesday, so Dundee secured their first Premier Sport Cup win. They secured a 3-1 win away to Bonnyrigg, in which match, one result, if it went Dundee's way, it would have been a 3-way fight for the final day. That didn't happen, so they were out of the cup even before they kicked off on Saturday.
With the match to spare. Oh no.
So Saturday saw Dundee's cup run come to an end even before they kicked off, but it was fine. It was great. It was another match. So they did beat Montrose 5-0 to round off the cup run. Well, I don't even think you can call it a cup run, can you? Because they didn't make it out of the group stage.
Cup flop.
It was a lot more positive, the match. They looked more structured and more like a team. Presley has come under quite a bit of backlash for the first few matches. He is the new manager, so it's one of them you do want to start quite quickly. Dundee did the opposite, but put the first 2 matches behind, and it was actually quite a good cup. Took an early lead through Simon Murray, doing what Simon Murray does best. Penalty, it was just a Simon Murray goal. That's the only way to describe him. Did have chances for the rest of the first half, but nothing too challenging. Half time, we did make a few changes, one of which Ryan Astley came on. So, of course, very excited. Not long after, doubled their lead through Simon Murray, and then the centre-backs, plural, decided to get in on the goals. So Clark Robertson added the third, and then a nice little cross into the box. Found the head of Ryan Astley, who added the 4th goal, in which I think I scared my whole entire house when I jumped up and screamed because he scored. Yeah. So, yeah, I was very happy. And then Luke Graham added the 5th. So it was a positive performance and a good score to take into the start of the season, which starts this weekend. So very excited. For Dundee, they are at home to Hibs on Sunday. Unfortunately, I'm not on the podcast on Tuesday, so I will write out my Scottish Prem roundup for one of you to read. So yeah, it's all starting this weekend, and it's very exciting.
Grimmy, calm down. I know you keep shouting, pick me, I can hear you.
Grimmy's already thinking, do I do it in my Scottish accent, or do I...
no, no one needs to hear that.
There we go. McBecker is back. And yes, the Scottish Premiership is back. The cup doesn't matter. It's just a pretend cup, you know. Dundee are focusing on the league. That's clear. That's clear this season. That's the goal. That is the goal.
We're not having another bottom half split this season with an Aki relegation battle and Everton being Everton. My health cannot take this season. I do not think at the grand age of I'll be 21 by
oh my god,
let's not go through it again. I've had the heartbreak of last season. Can we please have a decent one? I've got 3 teams and I've still not picked the greatest stuff.
You said you nearly threw your phone at the wall the other day. I'm looking at all them pictures behind you and I'm thinking, once you crack, that's it. That becomes a dartboard.
It's game over. Becca's just dreaming of mid-table mediocrity for one of her clubs. Just want something.
What we don't realise is that's an AI-generated background, and like there's going to be a switch that just flicks off, and it's going to be like a decimated wall, full of like holes punched and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's just full of Aki red brick. That's all it is.
Yeah. Aki red brick. Wow, there's plenty of opportunities for Becca with those teams that they're all going to, fly up the league. No doubt about it. No doubt
he
about it.
He sounds so sure of it, doesn't he?
I'm very sure. Very sure.
I'll click that, and then if it all goes wrong, we blame Sam.
Oh, 100%.
Just say what I think. Just say what I think. But we've come to the end of our transfer roundup. We've rounded it up. We've rounded it up as best we can. Of course, all season previews and that happening for other leagues, but we've still got a few weeks to go, so we might have to round it up one more time before we get to ours. But don't worry, it will happen. But where to find this marvelous crew we have with us? Rebecca, where can everybody find you and all of your Everton, Accrington, Dundee? Anyone else?
No, I'm limited to 3. You can find my personal Twitter and TikTok, which is _Rebecca_Short_. You can find my Her Game 2 content at ASFC_Her Game 2, in which I am very proud to announce that I am the new ambassador for Accrington Stanley. So that announcement came out last week, along with my first big announcement of we've got a player advocate. So Josh Woods has signed on as the player advocate, which is really exciting. So yeah, a lot of content coming up this season, with the first match being on Saturday. So keep a lookout for all of the content.
Exciting. And Mr. Grimmy, Senor Grimmy, where can everybody find you and your Batman style content? What are you doing on YouTube at the minute?
You'll find me in Gotham City protecting the innocent and preying on the weak villains of the city. No,
you're in Dundee.
In all seriousness, what was that? Sorry?
So you're in Dundee.
I'm in Dundee, yeah.
City of Justice,
no, I'm in
City of
Love. So at the minute, my main channel at St. Grimmy is currently I think I mentioned it last time I was on, is now a trading card channel. So we're doing like new unboxings every week, and then got some videos coming up in the next couple of weeks, talking a bit more discussion videos as well. So if that interests you, there is no ice hockey packs opened yet, Rebecca. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I know that was requested last time. I apologize. Not yet. Maybe one day, but we will have it at some point. And then other than that, there is the wrestling channel I'm working on with Bragster called Taking the Pin, and the Absolute Football Premier League podcast that you can see me on most weeks. Get that plug in there, because no one else will do that. Apparently.
Plug it. Yeah, we definitely won't be doing that in a bit. Plug it. Of course, the main man, Mr. Dan. Where can everybody find you? And of course, your YouTube channel as well. Everyone's YouTubing.
Yeah, it's you know what? I'm so glad to have got back into it. I was skeptical about getting back into doing it. But yeah, I'm glad I have, because everybody else has buggered off on holiday. So when I'm putting my content out, they've all come over. I still get the odd question, where's all the other channels? Which is like, but it's good to be putting content back out again. And yeah, mostly just do Burnley content. So yeah, chatting shit about another relegation next season. Looking forward to it. That said, yeah, at Turf Morehouse or at Turf Morehouse TV, wherever you want to find us. Like I said, everywhere but OnlyFans.
Everywhere but OnlyFans. There you go. Definitely with this new safety act, Dan. You'll have to VPN to get to see Dan these days. And you can find me. I am at Sam Absolute FBL on Twitter and TikTok and stuff. I have 2 YouTube channels, which I am going to be kicking into gear when the season gets going. At Sam Absolute FBL, which will be talking Premier League, doing Premier League match day roundups, and the Sam Absolute EFL channel, where I'm going to be doing Championship League 1 and League 2 roundups as well. It's all going to be going on. We're prepping, and we're ready. As Graham says as well, nominations still open for this year's FCAs. It would be wonderful if you could nominate us. That would be wonderful, be beautiful, be a wonderful thing. So we do have many shows, which I'm about to share with you with the slide of justice. Let's take that down. There it is. It's all there. We're back to 4 shows a week now. As I said, Freya and Co are having a live watch along rest for a little period, so we're back to regular show programming as we head into the new season. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 8:30. On Monday, we had the absolutely non-league show. So if you didn't catch it last night, it's still on YouTube there. National League North and South season review was excellent, and predictions from the team on what's happening there. Next week will be their National League preview show, because that's all kicking off pretty soon. Find us on a Tuesday, the Absolutely Premier League show, with some new graphics will be coming. New graphics will be coming in the coming weeks for that. So that's exciting. We're on a Tuesday talking stuff, Premier League stuff. On a Wednesday, the Absolutely Women's Football show, they will be doing the Euro roundup and then having a much deserved break. But you will catch them tomorrow. Freya, Paul, and the team will be there chatting all of that. The Lionesses' fantastic victory. And on Thursday, just in time, Shara's doing her graphics, the predictions ready for the season review for League One and League Two on a Thursday with the Absolutely Lower League show with the Rowdy Rabble talking all things there, League One and League. I think, Rebecca, you're on as well, aren't you, this Thursday for predictions? Aki top, obviously, nowhere else. Spoiler warning, but you can find the Absolute Football Podcast at many places. We are on Twitter, Absolute Ball Pod, YouTube, Absolute Football Podcast, and Twitch, TikTok, Absolute Football Pod, Instagram, Absolute Football Podcast _ Threads, Absolute Football, and on Facebook, the Absolute Football Podcast. Lovely, 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 jubbly. So all that's left to do. Grimmy has a question or something to say, or
it has just broken news that Newcastle have agreed a season-long loan with an option to buy for Aaron Ramsdale. 9 minutes ago from Sky Sports News. You're welcome.
There we go.
Also, Fabs has put the "Here we go" to it as well.
Yeah. So there, but Grimmy was there first. Grimmy beat Fab with his Grimmy to go. Grimmy to go.
Not
news.
100% sure when I got it from Sky Sports News. That's strictly true, but I'll take the plaudits.
This is it. No one can prove otherwise. Grimmy's got the scoop. There we go. We'll leave you with another transfer just on it. But I hope you have a fantastic week. Do check out the rest of the shows on the podcast. Subscribe, like, and all that jazz would be wonderful. We'll catch you on the next one. So it's very much ciao for now.